Hello, good evening. Welcome to Business News. I am Adeshewa Josh. The nation's real GDP growth rate further declined to 3.86% in the first quarter of 2015, down by 2.25 percentage points from the preceding quarter and by 1.98% from the corresponding quarter of 2014. According to the National Bureau of Statistics, Nigeria's GDP stands at 16.05 trillion naira in real terms, down from 18.15 trillion naira in the previous quarter. Also, the Consumer Price Index, which measures inflation, rose further to 8.7% in April compared to 8.5% in March. However, the country's GDP growth rate was lower by 2.25 percentage points from the preceding quarter and by 1.98% from the corresponding quarter. Nominal GDP in the first quarter of 2015 was estimated at 21.04 trillion naira compared to 24.2 trillion naira in the fourth quarter, as well as 20.16 trillion naira in the corresponding quarter of 2014. It further noted that the depressed global oil prices, as well as challenges in supply in the country, prevailed over the period under review, as oil production stood at 2.18 million barrels per day in the first quarter of 2015, remaining at the same level it was in the preceding quarter.
In 2014, the National Bureau of Statistics constituted a committee to review the methodology for computing labor statistics in the country. Prior to constituting this committee, unemployment figures are based on the numbers of people between ages 15 and 64 who work and earn less than 40 hours during a particular reference week. But the Bureau says this method is outdated and statistically incorrect compared with international standards.
The labor force population remain what they were, but those we consider fully employed in the old system is in column 3. So those that work 40 hours and above. It was from this that old rates were calculated but now we have joined those that work 20 hours to 39 hours as also employed. Then we now call them time-related underemployed population.
Accordingly, the Bureau computes anyone within the active labor years of 15 to 64 who has worked and earned for at least 1 hour during the reference week as employed. It also says only those within the active labor age bracket seeking for employment but have none are the unemployed.
My 35-year-old brother, who is currently pursuing his master's, he doesn't have a job, but he's not unemployed. You are only unemployed if you fall within the accepted working age, which is 15 to 65, what we call economically active, the economically active population, and are looking for work but cannot find any work at all.
Based on this new method and definition of unemployment, the Bureau puts the figures of unemployment at 6.4% of Nigeria's 72.9 million labor force population as at the fourth quarter of last year. This means that only 4.6 million of Nigeria's 72.9 million labor force population are unemployed, an improvement over the about 25 million unemployed persons computed for last year using the old methodology.
The consolidated portfolio of Premium Pension Limited has been put at 367.786 billion naira for the year ending 2014 as against the 323.427 billion recorded in 2013, showing a 13.69% increase. The company's profit before tax also grew from 2.351 billion naira to 2.609 billion naira in the year under review, representing an increase of 10.97% in growth. Well, this was announced by the chairman of Premium Pension Limited, Mr. Aliyu Diko, at the company's 10th annual general meeting.
Office of the company.
It's the 10th annual general meeting of Premium Pensions Limited. Soon after shareholders and board members formed a quorum, it was down to the business of the day. The company records, as announced by the chairman of the company, Alhaji Aliyu Diko, indicates that it had made significant progress in increased assets and income, both for the company and assets, during the year ending December 2014. The chairman of the company said the growth was achieved despite what he called stiff industry competition and macroeconomic instability.
During the year under review, the turnover of the company grew from 4.226 billion in 2013 to 5.252 billion, resulting in a growth of 24.28%. The company's profit before tax grew from 2.35 billion in 2013 to 2.609 billion, signifying a growth of 10.97%, while profit after tax grew from 1.625 billion to 1.766 billion, or a growth of 8.68%.
This achievement was endorsed and corroborated by the external auditors of the company, PricewaterhouseCoopers, which stated that the financial statements of the company are in line with the Nigerian Statements of Accounting Standards and the Pension Reform Act.
In our opinion, the accompanying financial statements give a true and fair view of the state of the company as at 31 December 2014 and its financial performance and its cash flows.
The Chief Executive Officer of the company, Mr. Wilson Ideva, explained the reason behind the company's success within a short time of its existence.
We believe that no company can be sustained, and you cannot sustain growth where there are no structures. And that's what we are focusing on. And we are also mindful of the fact that we're in a rated business, and there's need for us to be ahead of competition in service delivery.
With its financial books intact and improved performance, shareholders of Premium Pensions expressed satisfaction with the performance of the company.
I could see good strategic management and effective leadership manifesting itself.
It is with satisfaction that this annual general meeting has come to an end. Shareholders and the board expect that the coming year will be better. Amaka Okafo, Channels Television News.
Officials of the Nigeria Liquefied and Natural Gas Limited have promised to leave no stone unturned in its effort to cushion the falling prices of crude oil and gas resources. The Deputy Managing Director of the company, Mr. Issa Inuwa, gave the assurance at a meeting in Abuja. According to him, though there has been a 30% drop in the sale of natural gas by the company, NLNG remains committed to addressing the challenge.
This meeting was organized at the instance of the management of the Nigeria Liquefied and Natural Gas, with key players in the sector to discuss the way forward for the industry as a result of the drop in the prices of crude oil and gas resources. The Deputy Managing Director of the company listed how the company intends to tackle this challenge.
We've already developed a remarketing strategy. So we have a fairly good idea of how we are going to remarket those trains, what the market conditions may likely be, what levers we are going to employ in terms of our remarketing strategy, and so on. So we have a very, very clear idea of what we're going to do.
But how can the Nigeria Liquefied Natural Gas Limited continue to demonstrate robustness even in the midst of global uncertainties? Key players in the industry prefer solutions.
Very little manufacturing is done here, in fact, none really, and that needs to be addressed. Also, the policies on VAT, on tariffs for equipment, and also the discharge problems we're having with the PPMC jetty, because like I said in there, priority is always given to PMS, ATK and all that, and LPG. I mean, how can a vessel sit outside bar for almost a month without being able to discharge its product? And this is a vessel that's supposed to come once a week to Lagos to discharge.
On the task ahead on how to address the shortfall and the 30% drop in the prices of gas, officials say they are determined to meet up with gas production through its remarketing strategy.
Often people think it's only about crude oil. The problem is that we sell gas, we're in the gas business. And in terms of how we price our gas in the international market, as most of you will know, NLNG is, I would say, almost over 90% of our products are sold abroad. is that we index it to crude. So that's why crude oil movement is important to us.
Established in 1989, the Nigeria Liquefied and Natural Gas Limited has continued to contribute to Nigeria's economy. It promised to leverage on the success built in the past years to achieve significant progress, even in the face of the drop in the price of crude oil and gas in the international community.
The Kaduna state government has disbursed the sum of 1 billion naira to micro, small and medium enterprises in the state. According to the Deputy Governor, Mr. Nuhu Bajoga, the fund is a contribution of 500 million naira each from the Bank of Industry and the state government.
Partnership involves contribution of the sum of 500 million naira each by the Bank of Industries and Kaduna state government, amounting to the sum of 1 billion naira to be disbursed as macro loans to MSME to support the development of macro, small and medium enterprises, subsectors of the state economy. The MSME sector that we are providing this intervention, which incidentally is a major component of the roadmap for accelerated development of our dear state, is very critical to the economic development of the state, because no society records any meaningful progress except it has developed a vibrant MSMEs base as a launch pad to support its industrial development.
That's Nuhu Bajoga, Deputy Governor of Kaduna State. Now we'll take you to the Nigerian stock market, where trading ended in the positive territory. And the last trading day of the week, here's Christopher Popola with the day's closing figures.
Hello, here's the stock market's reports. Nigeria's equities market recorded its third weekly gain, closing up marginally at 0.07%. The gainers chart was led by Forte Oil for the second time this week. Shares are up by 13 naira, 63 kobo, and that's followed by Nigeria Brewers, which gained 1 naira, 18 kobo. PZ was also up at 6 kobo. Now, on the losers chart there we have, it was also mixed sentiments as gainers shared 5 kobo. Total also lost 5 kobo and Flour Mills lost 1 naira, 2 kobo. Now, banking stocks continue to top the volumes chart. Axis leads with just over 32 million shares. Transcorp is next with 22 million stocks, and UBA retains its spot on the volumes chart with just over 15 million shares. In total, just over 185 million shares valued at 1 billion naira were traded at 3,517 deals. And that's the stock market reports. I am Christy Cole Popola.
Thank you, Christy, and thank you for watching Business News. The news at 10 continues in a moment.
Still ahead on the news at 10, Kelechi Iheanacho Isaac's success in as Flying Eagles coach Manu Garba unveils his final squad for this month's FIFA Under-20 World Cup in New Zealand. That's in sports news. Stay with us.